Hey folks, I'm Melhorn. In this video, we're going to talk about demon dragons and whether they're trash or treasure. All right guys, demon dragons are nothing new. They've been around for a while. As a matter of fact, I've got some videos that I did about them when my channel first started several years ago. You can go check those out. And one of them, I actually go out and do some long-term testing over many trips at 100 fish to see how they compare to the peg float. Today, we're gonna do something similar, not so much with the fishing, but just how they compare to a peg float, the different types of peg floats, and whether they are a good value for you. Now, one of the complaints in some of the videos, especially the ones where I did some of the weight suspension testing, was that I was not using the newest, latest, greatest demon dragon. Guess what? I've got some, and that's what we're gonna be looking at today. This is their newest, most up-to-date version. It is bigger, larger, and in my opinion, louder than the original ones that came out. And what we're gonna do is some side-by-side testing here and comparison on price and how much weight they'll float, and you can decide for yourself which is better for you and your type of fishing. Now, the first thing we're going to do is start out with the good old 2.5 inch peg float, this little bitty thing. I have caught thousands and thousands of catfish using this float on Santee rigs. It will float a decent sized bait up off the bottom, and it will produce fish. It's actually the same size float I used in some of my side-by-side testing with the demon dragons back when I did that several years ago. So what I'm using is a weight that is attached to a clip, and you'll notice on that clip there's a piece of monofilament line. The clip itself is so that it can easily attach to the demon dragon and the demon dragon style rattles, and the piece of monofilament is on there so that it can attach easily to the peg float. Now, in case you're wondering, the total weight of this is only a 1/2 ounce. But let me be clear on something, and I wasn't real clear on this in a previous video. This does not mean that your demon dragon or your peg float will only support a 1/2 ounce. The bait that you're using is much less dense than a piece of lead, so it has buoyancy to it. I'm using this as a test mechanism to show which one of these floats, which one of these rattles, which one of these demon dragons will hold up the most weight. Well, the first one that we'll put to the test will be the good old 2.5 inch peg float. You can get these things pretty much anywhere online. They're very cheap, usually around 25 cents a piece. They're very affordable, almost disposable as far as catfish rigs go. And we're gonna take a look at how it does. Well, obviously it sank right to the bottom very quickly. These things do not hold up a lot of weight. Obviously they're much smaller than any of the other floats that we're testing. And I didn't really expect this one to do that good. The next one is gonna be this homemade demon dragon. As you can tell, nowhere near as loud. Demon dragon, homemade one. Demon dragon, homemade one. One of the downsides, this one has a softer outer shell to it. This one's a lot harder. Sounds like there may be 2 little rattling balls in there. So if nothing else, the demon dragon makes a lot more noise than the homemade painted version. You can buy these blanks, as they're called, online for about 89 cents. You can paint them any color you want to. If you watch any of my fishing videos, you'll see lots of videos where I painted these things myself and used them as a float. And it's a very effective way if you're trying to save money to do this. But we're gonna drop this one in the tank too and see how it does. Well, bam, there you go, straight to the bottom too. No more buoyant, or at least not that much buoyant than this little peg float. It shows you that there is a limit to how much these floats will support, and it's something you need to pay attention to when you're putting baits on them. Obviously, it's going to depend on the size of your bait, but if you're fishing really big baits, these two are probably not good choices. All right, guys, the next one we're going to try is this 2.5 inch oval float. About the same length as this one here that we tried, but obviously a lot bigger, a lot denser, probably 2 to 3 times the size. We're going to hook it up and see if it will suspend the weight. All right, guys, there you go. It suspends the weight. It works. It holds it up off the bottom. Definitely, obviously, it's a big float, bigger than any of the others, and it's suspended weight the others would not suspend. Well, folks, when you watch that, you probably look at that big old oval float and go, man, that thing's huge. Of course it's going to float more than a Demon Dragon. It's a lot bigger. Well, maybe it is, but before I use those larger oval floats for bigger baits, I use one of these. This is just a 3-inch peg float. You can see a little bit bigger than the other one that we tried. This one is a lot smaller than the Demon Dragon. So let's put this puppy in the tank and see how it performs. Well, there you go, guys. This one supports the weight also. Barely, it barely held it up, but it was big enough to support the weight that we're trying. So we've got one left to put in the tank and see how it performs, and that's the good old Demon Dragon. Well, there you go, folks. The Demon Dragon did not suspend as much weight. Now, another important factor is this one rattles, this one doesn't. So that may be a deciding factor in which one you go with when you go fishing. But another important factor that probably affects people more than anything else in deciding which one of these to go with is the price of these two. This float right here, when you buy a bag of them, around 20 to 25 of them a bag, it's around 92 cents per float. When you buy Demon Dragons, and I ordered these online, they come in a 4-pack, got 2 bags of them. These come in at around $5.50 a piece. Not for a pack, but per float. They sound better. They look a lot prettier, but they're a heck of a lot more expensive. For me, that's a determining factor in which one I'm buying. For you guys, it may or may not. And you know, you may see that there is more value in using a Demon Dragon because of its paint job, how much noise it makes, and you like that. For other folks, you may not be able to afford to lose, you know, what would turn out to be $6 to $7 every time you get snagged up fishing somewhere. So that's a decision only you guys can make. The folks at Tackle Bandit sell these things. So I invite you, if you're interested in getting some, go to Tackle Bandit. They've got a wide range of them. As for the other floats, the peg floats and the oval floats, you can find them on eBay. Very affordable, very affordably priced. And it gives you some options so that when you go out fishing, you can either go with something that has a lot of excitement to it or something that is a lot more affordable. And that's the thing I want to send to most of you guys is that if you have the money to spend, you have the disposable income, nothing wrong with getting the more expensive rattles and corks and gear to go fishing with. But don't feel like you need it to catch fish. Almost all of my 60+ pound fish came on peg floats or homemade Demon Dragon rattles. I've got 2 fish, I believe, that are over in the 60 to 70 pound range, and they came on the homemade Demon Dragon style rattles. One of these type that I got for around 89 cents and painted it with some spray paint. So my point is, guys, get what you can afford. It's not gonna make that big of a difference in whether you catch fish or not. Have fun, enjoy it. If you like these, they're great looking, they sound good, get them and use them. Have confidence in what you use and go have fun and go catch fish. Well, folks, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. Here are a couple more videos that I think you're gonna like. I'd watch that one and then that one. No. No, do that one first and then that one. I don't know. Just watch them both. They're both good.